thank you very much for having me here today, and well done, AGDA, for organising such an event. It's really cool to see so many inspired creatives here. I've come back from Los Angeles. My background's in film, production, visual effects, and VR. So without further ado, I think what I'll start with is one of my favourite words, which is breakthrough. Because as artists, we need to break something in order to create something else. Whether it's break convention, break code, break convention, break code, break style, break order, in order to then come through with something original and extraordinary that's going to touch people and potentially create positive social change. So I'm going to talk a lot about VR and AR, and well, MR slightly, because MR is kind of really just a convergence of these two. Who here's used VR? Right? Okay, cool. AR? Cool. So VR is basically teleportation to another experience, and AR is a 3D composited render on real time, on a real image. And I'd love anyone that's interested in what I have to say to just grab my email, and any questions after this talk, please just write through, and I always get back to everyone. So keep your questions for when you can have one-on-one. So I am a producer of VR in LA, and when someone comes to me with a concept, it's all about what to start with as an empty space. So whether it's an empty canvas or a new material, it's all about how is it that we can capitalize on this empty space. Peter Brook, who's anyone involved with the theatre or loves the theatre? No one. Wow. Okay, cool. Because who knows where the theatre actually, well, where movies came from? Movies came from the theatre. The theatre was informed from magic tricks on the streets of Paris. And then the theatre informed film. And as film became more advanced due to the technology with lighting and colour and sound, all of a sudden we have Gone with the Wind. And then from Gone with the Wind we get, our Titanic eventually, after visual effects were involved. So it's the technology that's helping to inform the content, which is why it's such an exciting time to be at the infancy of VR and immersive experiences, because we really have a blank, empty canvas in order to build and to create anything. What is it that defines an experience? So right now where you are, you take into account what it is that you see all around you. But then if you were to close your eyes, what sounds can you tap into? I mean, could you hear someone yelling at their small child on the street? Maybe not now, but in VR you have the power through ambisonic sound to bring in different sounds as they would superficially appear in an experience. So you're able to really mess with people's understanding of what it is that they think they know, which is something that we do all the time here now. And haptic technology is basically your kinesthetic experiences, so you touch, your scent. I was really lucky in LA to go around to all the conventions, and the truth is, the first year, I see this necklace, and it's, it releases a scent as soon as you click on an app. Well, it's a big, clunky, ugly thing, is everyone going to wear that? But then a year later, it was this, refined, Tiffany-ish, necklace that released a certain scent once you triggered this indicator. So it is emerging and it is evolving. So you will be able to build experiences that completely teleport someone from this presence into another. And the opportunities for this are completely endless. So that's why it is just so exciting, about to burst, we talk about this stuff all day. So the truth is that VR is not going away. Zuckerberg's determined to make VR as popular as Facebook. At F8, the big Facebook convention, I was lucky to attend. It was just like, oh my God, because the price point of the VR headset is coming down to $200 US per unit. So that is just going to change everything in terms of making VR more accessible to people. In China, this is a theme park. So if you look, this is like a dump truck. So that's the scale that we're talking here. It's quite crazy. You walk into the park, you get given your headset, and then all of a sudden you just, there's a VR restaurant. I mean, wow. And lots of rides, etc. This statue is $15 million. So basically, the Chinese are going all out. And they're the first to actually release a headset with a really low price point, which is super cool. So this is the landscape at the moment of VR startups. Crazy! 3 years ago it was basically just this little part, but now you can see just how much it's blown out. Because when we think about movies, right, 2 hours, 3 hours, because we're also addicted to our phones, and that constant touch, that constant need for more and more and more, our attention span is reduced. So it's perfect for VR because you're only going to be in a headset for 10 to 15 minutes. So it's enough of an experience before you've had enough, and then you can go on to the next one. So that one is really cool. How can it help marketing brands? Well, it creates novel, memorable experiences. It's all about immersion and interactivity. Any gamers here? Yes. Okay, great. So penetration, tourism, hospitality, education, medicine, research, simulations is a huge one. We're building one for the army right now, which is, the Lint heist, for example. It took me 6 hours to build a physical replica of the actual building, but thanks to game technology of building computer-generated renders, you're able to basically create a VR experience mapping a real-time environment under an hour. And with the untethered headsets, you're going to have the military running around, basically just preparing and creating default scenarios based on this CG render. So it's brilliant for hypotheticals. So my start, I had a couple of movies under my belt. Son of a Gun that was shot here. Anyone knows that movie? And I was approached at uni by this lecturer who knew I was a girl. He knew I was a girl who knew how to get things. So just hustled, saved production a lot of money, took me to Sydney, and then just worked like 10 jobs to try and get a big break. Got offered a job ushering in a prison, Parramatta, really glamorous. And when we walked in the audience, they sat down, and then the other ushers started eating the food and drinking the drinks. So I was like, no, I'm here to work. So my velvet dress, my red lipstick, and my big ribbon, I started cleaning the prison kitchen floor. And as I was doing that, this woman walked past and saw me. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I said, well, I'm here to work. She asked me where I lived, and I said, I'm staying on a friend's couch in Paddington. She offered to drive me home. This woman turned out to be one of the biggest EPs of film on the East Coast, and she gave me my big break to work with this guy, Alex Proyas. He did The Crow, I, Robot, Dark City, Knowing, who made the trench coat, black trench coat, really cool, which Matrix ripped off. Anyway, and so basically I was in this blue screen land on a movie called Gods of Egypt for 2.5 years. And it taught me how to conceptualize how is it that you can create something out of absolutely nothing. And this was about 6 years ago, before VR was even gearing up. So I was really lucky to be in that place at that time to learn how to build worlds before VR really started taking off in the US. It's not here in Perth yet, which is why I'm here, to get you all excited. So when it comes, you're like, oh, I know what that is. So before and after, so you can see the artwork and how, there are thousands of people involved in creating, all of this. Any VFX artists in the room? Compositors, animators? Yeah, there you go. So it takes a lot of talented people to turn something into nothing. At the beginning of a big budget movie, first it starts with illustrations. So it will go back and forth between about 15 artists to finally hone in on what the director's vision is. And then once that is kind of approved in terms of your boards, then this is Joe Butler, Levi, then you create an animation of the entire movie. You have fake actors, cheaper actors than the movie stars, run around, and cameras track their movements, and then they ingest that movement into the computer to build a whole animation of the actual movie. So then the director directs the expensive actors based on the animation. So it saves everyone a lot of frustration and time and money when you've got an actor who's, you know, $1 million a day. Here we have, so this is the previous Game of Thrones, all computer generated. So before, after, before, after, before, after, oh, magic, right? Before, oh, yeah, that's the one. Before and after, yeah. So, again, it's sort of about the imagination as to, oh, you know, that's why actors, in this day and age, need to be really talented, because basically they have to, you know, imagine something that doesn't really, you know, isn't really real. So, yeah, I learned a lot about production, working with Mel Gibson and Vince Vaughn on Hacksaw Ridge, which is really cool, with the boys. Who loves that movie? Yeah? So yeah, Vince is really tall and really bizarre. But Vince encouraged me to move to LA. Lionsgate promised me a job in LA after working for them for like 4 years with absolute nutbags and yeah, basically 16-hour days for a long time. But I get there and they're like, oh, yes, thank God you're here. No jobs, but thank God you're here. But luckily I had all this visual effects experience, so I got a job producing for the rodeo and doing the on-set data wrangling and supervision, which is really fun. So this is some of the movies and things, which was really cool. Again, you know, bringing in that technical, you know, with creativity, which moving into VR is really important because you need to have the technical capabilities and the creativity to come up, but also facilitate the creative stuff. How we capture VR is with 360 cameras. So this is basically, you have these cameras shooting, you know, you gain an input, and then you stitch together the images to create basically your content, which is, this is flat, but then it's spherical, and that is what you're able to look around at in the headset. So that's how you shoot it. If you're building a computer-generated environment, then that's a lot easier and quicker, hence my example of building the Mint heist, because all you need is a blueprint of the map, and then it just appears, just with a lot of coding. So we love the people that use Unity. If you want to explore how to get into VR and you are into computers and tech, then Unity and Unreal and standard game engines is a really great place to be if you want to get into VR, not everyone else, but anyway, I'm flogging it here, that's why I'm here, okay? And this is basically how compact VR 360 cameras are becoming. So you're going to be able soon to hold up your selfie 360 camera, take a screenshot of the environment that you want to share, say, you know, I'm here at the beach, I want to send it to Grandma. Grandma's got her $200 headset, so we bought it for Christmas. And Grandma puts on the headset, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm at the beach with my granddaughters, oh my God. And then you can slap on a filter saying, Happy Birthday, Grandma. And then you can throw some dolphins, and then all of a sudden you've got a 360 Snapchat, basically. And what's, you know, this is what I was saying with the content becoming shorter. It's really, all these companies are really getting involved into VR. Immersive domes is a way for people who are not essentially comfortable with getting into VR through the headset. You can create an experience through projection mapping. So these images is basically you shoot it as you would with the 360 cameras, and then you just projection map it so that it's spherical. And there are some really crazy experiences out there in the world that you can witness on YouTube, which is really, really cool. So CG and real time. So I really want to bring a dome to Perth. You know, you guys are a lot more experienced with Perth and the politics, not great with local governments. But I'm sure we can figure something out. So yeah, basically coming up with what an environment could be to really create an immersion. And then with sound, anyone who's into music, sound is here. Fantastic. Well, what's really cool is with ambisonic sound, you can use spatial audio to shift the sound throughout the dome. So you can have, you know, and Dolby sound, if you go to an amazing cinema, you're going to hear the sounds from all over you, which is what, you know, it's about with the domes. So just to, you know, further express that VR is the next good thing, you know, our computers, oh my God, we've got that, you know, colourful apples, internet, oh my God, email, mobile, Snapchat, oh, Facebook, and now it's going to be bye-bye. So this is very exciting. And here, in terms of tech roadmap, as I said about the sensors and the sense and things, this is going to become more available and accessible for content creators to really be thinking outside of the box as to how you can create an immersive experience. Your grandmother's on her, heaven forbid, deathbed, and she'd never been to Paris. You purchase or you choose to design or map an experience for your grandmother in Paris. She's on her deathbed, she has the headset on, she is in Paris, smelling the sense of Paris, hearing the sounds, whatever. And so there's really that power for sensory convergence. What I'm doing is I'm working on developing a pre-production planning tool for VR production. Given, you know, my experience in film and visual effects, a lot of shoots that I've witnessed and explored, basically it's fucked up when you get to shoot because there's no preparation. Sorry for the swearing, can't help it. I was originally from the week, but I don't hold that against it. But yes, so this is what I'm working on, which will be exciting. So anyone that's interested in helping, not really. Anyway, and so back to the canvas of the empty space. So what is it you can think about that doesn't actually exist out there that you would want to share with someone else? Like, I know that I want to just be down south with my family when I'm somewhere else in the world. If I can put on a headset and feel that presence and be there, then that's going to make me feel good. An example of an experience that's, you know, boring off that someone hates their job. You have a headset, you know, in the corner, some guy puts on the headset, all of a sudden he's at the beach. He looks down and he sees the water at his feet. You see the positive affirmation, you know, going round and dolphins and ducks and unicorns, whatever you want. It's going to make you feel good. So then you step out of that, back to work, and you've had a cognitive shift. So that's the power of that type of immersive experience.